Welcome, silent man servants, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I'm Mike.
Yes, as it says underneath on your name. Yeah. And we are kicking off our new series where we're going to be discussing the films of James Bond.
But not all of them.
Not all of them. We're not doing all 25 movies. Thank God. What we've decided to do...
Some of them are really painful to watch.
Some of them are very, very painful to watch. So what we decided to do was we were going to take each of our favorite from each of the Bond actors and our least favorite from each of the Bond actors. Now, obviously, Mike and Andy, you might be saying, how does that work for Timothy Dalton? He only made 2 movies. Well, I guess we have to come to a consensus one way or another. It'll be interesting to see where we land on that one.
And, well, you might be also thinking, hold on, Mike and Andy, George Lazenby only did 1 movie. Well, I guess we'll be doing that one then, won't we?
I guess we'll be doing that one as well, yeah. So we are going in turn, unless there's consensus. So we started, we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to start with Connery. There is consensus on the worst Connery Bond, which you will see. And actually, I think that fits in nicely when we actually do have to cover on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know the suspense is killing you, even though you clicked on the link that said Goldfinger. We're talking about Goldfinger. This was my pick for my favorite Connery. Why? Because it's the one that set the stage for everything. I feel like From Russia with Love had a few pieces here and there that really, really fit into the Bondian oeuvre. But this is really where you get the gadgets. This is the first movie with the Aston Martin. This is
the first movie with with a big kind of unique henchman.
Yeah, with the unique henchman, with the outlandish plans. Like we've officially hit supervillain level.
Yeah. Let's irradiate all the golden Fort Knox.
Yes.
Sure, why not?
That works. And also I think this is the first one too that really kind of like really super enhanced the Bond girl. I mean, we had Ursula Andress in Dr. No, and she is the quintessential Bond girl. But this one, you're getting the ridiculous names. And
wait. What's so ridiculous about Pussy Galore? Come on, really?
Just repeat that back to yourself. Ask yourself that question. And this has also got one of the most iconic images. I wouldn't say scenes. I'd say one of the most iconic images in cinematic history, not just exclusive to Bond. Yeah. So let's begin, shall we? All right, let's get this out of the way right now. I know you're not a fan of the Shirley Bassey song.
I like Shirley Bassey a lot. Seriously, how many ways can you just say he likes gold?
It's a way to wrap the song up. This is another thing that a Goldfinger established.
Yeah,
was that bombastic theme. I mean, it all sounds like stripper music in the end, but like House of Burlesque type music.
And it doesn't help the fact that we've got gold, like almost naked women kind of flashing around the screen.
Oh yeah, compare this to the credit scenes and songs for both Dr. No and From Russia with Love. This is where it begins. You can pinpoint that amazing Saul Bass opening scene right here.
Yeah.
And again, as a song, it's kind of dumb. But, you get that chartreuse style. You get that. It has everything that you want in a Bond movie. It starts this thing that there's this romance. I was describing this to a coworker the other day while I was rewatching Goldfinger on a portable DVD player because I don't have a DVD player hooked up to my TV in my office, and I do need to get work done. And I've seen Goldfinger like 15 times. So I had it on a portable player, and it was just like, oh boy, that disc has seen better days, and it's not streaming anywhere for free. So none of my services offer it. And I was explaining to him, is like, there's just something about the James Bond movies. There's a romance to the James Bond movies that you are willing to ignore a lot. These movies are really problematic on so many levels.
Well, I mean, the fact that when first off, he's talking.
Men are talking.
He's talking with a woman named Dink.
Yes.
First off, and then when she leaves, he slaps her ass. Very
right.
Very nice.
I love too that they had the ham, like the ham slappers.
Yeah.
That was the sound that they gave. They fully that in. And but the thing is that there's just such a this masculine romance about the James Bond films. It's just this debonair dude who has endless money because he's spending England's money on this. Like, the taxpayers of England are paying for James Bond to go gallivanting all over everywhere.
Having sex with numerous women.
Oh yeah. And
most of them dying afterwards.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. That's the very definition of the no strings relationship, because but it introduces so much stuff in this movie. Why this is why I said I'm such a big Bond fan. For all its ridiculousness, for all its misogyny, for all its super not casual racism. The fact that Harold Takata was a Japanese wrestler
from Hawaii.
And Goldfinger does refer to him as being from Korea. Yeah. I don't think that they have golf in Korea. Gert Frobe, who couldn't speak a lick of English until he took the part for this movie.
Do you know who almost got this role?
Who?
Goldfinger was almost played by Citizen Kane, Orson Welles.
Oh.
But apparently his demands were too high.
Oh, I'm sure. No, you go with the guy who doesn't speak English before you go with Orson Welles on something like that.
He's supposed to be, Goldfinger is supposed to be British. They say he's British, but you wouldn't tell it by the accent, because he's very, very German.
And I have a feeling that was actually written into the script after they cast Gert Frobe.
Probably.
And it's just like he's got like that Vincent D'Onofrio, like Gomer Pyle / Kingpin when he's upset face. Just that.
Yeah.
He just looks like melted ice cream whenever he's upset about something. Yeah, it's funny too, because there's like when we're introduced to him, he's coming out. All the men are essentially wearing like their swimming onesies, and he's coming out kind of like a baby, just
big and a big old,
on the walk. Yeah, I remember when my baby got an English dialect coach as well too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was redubbed the entire. I think apparently the only time when you actually hear Gert Frobe's voice after he killed a dog, is when Bond is underneath the map.
Yeah.
And when you hear him talking, and you don't see Gert Frobe, I guess that actually is his voice talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I feel like this movie, the first 2 acts of this movie are really fun. You can pick holes. You can pick holes in any James Bond movie. This one is no exception.
Yeah. I just watched this one again, yesterday. I mean, I'd seen this movie dozens of times, but I watched it again. I'm like, wow, nostalgia really played a big role in this one, because for 90% of this movie, James Bond is entirely inconsequential to the movie.
Oh yeah,
nothing.
Oh yeah, No. And it's not hyperbole for me to say that the only reason why anything ever gets done in this world is because of pussy.
Yeah. Can we say Honor Blackman is hands down the absolute best thing in this movie?
Well, the beauty of her is it's like she didn't quite get the assignment, which is good. It benefits this movie because she doesn't take anybody's bullshit.
Nope.
I'm sure that, when they were, like on set, Guy Hamilton was giving her directions, just gave the death stare, like, how dare you talk to me? And then
Guy Hamilton was like, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, it's really funny. The whole thing too. Okay, so we meet Tilly Masterson, sister of Jill Masterson, the iconic girl in gold.
Yeah.
Again, cinematically one of the most iconic shots in history. Tilly Masterson is useless. The only purpose that she served was essentially to get killed so James Bond could get captured and put on the laser table.
Yeah. The only reason Tilly Masterson is in the movie is because she's in the book. And she has a much larger role in the book. Apparently the woman that played Tilly absolutely hated this. They were gonna pay her like $50 a week, and she managed to struggle and negotiate that up to $150 a week. But then she quit acting after this because it's like, I get paid £150 a day modeling, so why am I doing this?
Exactly. I mean, and for her, it was like thankless role. It really is. I mean, it's just she gets like this one fun scene where she gets to push some of the buttons in the Aston Martin, but that's about it. Yep. And then Odd Job, whose hat doesn't knock her head off.
No, it just it hits her, and there's not even any blood anywhere.
Yeah. Way to go! I hope that how's that getting revenge for your sister's death working out for you?
Yeah. And then the iconic scene, which every parody since then, like the famous Simpsons one, has the spy escaping in some elaborate means, and then you go back and watch Goldfinger. No, he bluffs his way out.
Exactly. You expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die and be a cheap funeral. Hey, stop him! He's supposed to be dying.
Yeah, but not in the actual movies. Like, I know about this plan. No, you don't. Can you take that chance? I guess you're right. Turn it off.
Yep.
What?
Odd Job, knock him out. Leave him with the woman in the haystack.
Yeah, Odd Job, knock him out. Don't kill him. Just knock him out. Oh yeah, Odd Job, knock him out again. Don't kill him. Knock him out again.
Yeah. Seriously. I do love too the original intention of Pussy Galore was that she was supposed to be a lesbian.
Yep.
I think in the original book she is, and Bond is just gonna fuck her straight. Sure.
The only thing Bond does in this movie is manage to convince Pussy Galore to completely betray her boss of probably for a while, of probably a long time, and all of her job and all of the money that she was going to get for this, because he sexed her up real good.
Yep, exactly. That happens in real life, right?
Of course.
Yeah, all the time. It's funny because again, there's so much enjoyment I get out of this movie. The golf scene.
Yeah,
I love the golf scene.
I love Bond's caddy in that one.
Oh yeah. If that's his ball, then I'm Arnold Palmer. I'm Irish. Yeah, but it did. I really enjoyed that though because it was a lot of great one-upsmanship for two dudes that were apparently terrible at golf. On hole 17, you see Sean Connery take the swing off that. Yeah,
and then the next shot you see the ball flying around. Like, no, I don't play golf, but I know enough to know when he shot it off the tee, he sliced it bag time. It flew off into the woods.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slice. It's just it's fun because of the whole the Schlesinger 1 stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that we're really given a good introduction to Odd Job, a terrible caddy, but can crush a golf ball in his hands.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that too is I feel like they dummied up a ball for Harold Takata to break, and they probably had like 4, and they like just just try this, smack, and he just like crush. This one, he looked like he was crushing a real golf ball because they ran out of the dummy ones. Like, and the camera sits there on him. It's just...
Well, the Foley guy crushes a bunch of walnuts.
Yes. One of my favorite parts too in that, and I notice this every time. It's like when you see it for the first time, you can never unsee it. Is when you're introduced to Odd Job's hat.
Yeah.
And he throws it at the statue. It slices the statue's head off. The head rolls forward onto its arm, and then just rolls off. The fake statue arm is fake, because that should have broken. Just that kind of thing would have broken that arm off, and it's just like you can see the line where it's like. And also, they dummy this thing up good.
Then the hat falls down, and you see the metal rim. And yet later on, when they're fighting in the vault, there's no metal rim on that hat when Bond picks it up. You very clearly see the bottom of the hat, and there is no metal rim there. It is just a black hat.
Yep.
Okay,
and this is
true there.
Best part about this too is the fact that it essentially is bookended by guys getting electrocuted for just simply being too slow or too stupid.
Yeah.
The one guy at the beginning with the tub, just gun holster,
and throw the heater with a really, really long plug.
Yeah.
I mean, that plug goes all the way across the room.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be shoddy wiring anyway. It was the 60s after all.
Fair enough. Fair.
And then, with him killing Odd Job.
Also, another first for this movie. I believe this is the first one with a cold opening that has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Yes. Yes, it does. And that scene actually it's really cool because that was used. I mean, that was used in countless spy movies. The one that comes to mind the most is True Lies.
Yeah.
Where he gets out of the scuba gear and he's like got that freshly pressed tux.
Which, I'm sure that would work.
Be hilarious. He goes into this party, with like little wet spots stinking of bilge water.
And I love how he had the hat with the duck on top of it.
You know what though? That makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? If you see a duck floating about, you're not going to bother to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just this movie is just it's fun, and it's the other thing too is I found out one of the shortest James Bond movies. It clocks in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
One of the few that clock in under 2 hours.
Really? Interesting.
I mean, I'm sure if we do, if we research Le Google, we could find out what is the longest, which is the shortest.
Well, I actually spent some time today at work because it was really, really quiet. Looking up the box office and budget of this one.
Yeah.
Like, Dr. No had like a budget of like 1.1 million, and it made like just shy of 60 million.
Mm-hmm.
From Russia with Love, budget of 2 million, and it made about 70 million or so.
Oh wow.
Goldfinger, budget of 3 million, pulled in 120 million.
This movie was a phenomenon when it came out, and again establishes the Bond mythos.
Yeah.
All right. So the shortest Bond movie is Quantum of Solace at 146 minutes.
Oh.
Then Dr. No at 150 minutes. 150 minutes. An hour 50.
Oh, okay.
Hour 46. Hour 50. Goldfinger is also an hour 50. You Only Live Twice is an hour 57. I'm going to go down to number 1 here. Number 1, the longest, is Spectre at 228.
Okay.
Casino Royale is close by at number 2 at 224.
All right. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
The issue is, it's something, and this is going to be an issue we're going to talk about a lot throughout the Bond thing. When there were dead spots in these movies, there were dead spots in these movies.
Yeah. This movie could have easily had about 10 minutes cut out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. The thing is that, like, there are long shots of the aerial footage of, Pussy and her, Pussy bombers, headed to Fort Knox to irradiate the gold.
And how many shots of dead soldiers or dead soldiers can you really see? I mean, we saw the entire base and we see all the people dead. It's like, okay, we get it. You could have done that with like 2 or 3 shots, not 10.
Right. Yeah. And again, that might actually just be a casualty of 1960s filmmaking.
Yeah.
Just use all the film that you can. God knows they weren't letting women be editors back then, and we all know that women are the best editors because it's just like, yep, let me clean this mess up that you just made.
Yeah, well, I mean, the best female editor that I can think of came out of the 70s, and that was Verna Fields.
Yeah, who did Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sally Menke, who worked with Tarantino. Same thing. And I'm forgetting her name, worked with Scorsese, but... Thelma Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's an issue with 1960s filmmaking.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also the reason why when Bond hit the 70s, not as good movies.
No.
Bond was very much product of the 60s, and it took them a while to adjust him to the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. And we'll get to that, though. We will definitely get to that. I'm really interested in seeing what your 2 more movies are going to be. I have thoughts on how I want to approach mine.
Well, I absolutely know what my favorite Moore movie is. I figured that out.
We'll discuss that later, but yeah.
Spoilers.
But I mean, all in all, this is a fun movie. The villain is dispatched in a kind of clever way. He's sucked out of an airplane.
Yeah,
golden pop.
Yeah, I read the synopsis of the book this morning. Apparently, that's how Odd Job gets killed in the book.
Oh, he gets sucked out of an airplane.
Yeah, and then Goldfinger Bond strangles him.
I've never read a single Ian Fleming Bond novel. And from what I've heard, I wouldn't like them at all.
Yeah, I got the audiobook of the first 2, Casino Royale, and what was the second one? Live and Let Die was actually the second one.
Right.
I got the audiobook of those today because I had a couple credits on Audible, so whatever.
Yeah, why not? Why not? And the funny thing is, we haven't really talked much about Sean Connery. I think we need to close it up by talking a little bit about Sir Sean in this.
Tilly Masterson.
Titty Masterson.
Did he say Tilly or Titty? It's Sean Connery. He said both.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, I feel like he got so comfortable with the character.
Yeah.
In this, as compared to, it was like one of the. Dr. No is. It's not a bad movie. It's never going to be like in my bottom, but it's such a. I just say it's like a nothing Bond movie.
It's more of a spy movie than a Bond movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Bond has no gadgets. He really doesn't do a whole lot.
No.
And Dr. No himself he's got a prosthetic hand.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then, From Russia with Love is widely considered one of the best of the Connerys, which is very true. it's probably my second favorite of the Connery Bond movies.
Yeah,
but,
I would agree with that.
Right, but it is, again, it's removed from the Bond aesthetic, if you will.
It's the
And this
introduction
one,
of Spectre.
what's that?
It's the introduction of Spectre.
It is, but this one is. It's just like he's used to it. He's the one-liners, the quips,
Shocking.
off a little better. Shocking, positively shocking. He's more at ease in the role, I think, and that's important for this because there's no time in this movie where you really you see him sweat.
Yeah.
There are a couple of times when he raises an eyebrow a little bit at something, but you never really see him sweat. And the only time you really see that happen is when he when they're afraid that Goldfinger's going to notice they switch the ball.
Oh yeah. I guess at the end, when he's in the vault, trying to get the bomb casing open.
Oh yeah.
I guess you kind of say he was sweating there.
Yeah.
I feel like he was about to rip the wires, and that guy is just boop, done. Little switch. Okay, done.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently when he was going to get the champagne, and Harold Takata actually chopped him, he really made contact, and you can see the pain in his face when he hit the floor. He's like, ah. That's what you get for insulting the Beatles, Bond.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with him, but yeah.
Wow, that was just they threw that line in last minute.
Yeah.
It was 64. It was 64, right? So, yeah, it would have been right as soon as the Beatles hit Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
Wow. But, and that's the thing. And I feel like that kind of lends to a lot of the squareness that we were seeing in Bond until the Craig years.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of make fun of that. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Triple X with Vin Diesel.
In theaters, actually. That was the only time I remember seeing it.
Oof. They had the opening scene with the tuxedoed super secret agent going into that German club, and there's Rammstein or something like that. He's trying to fit in. It's like, wow.
Yeah, but that Bond is his own type of spy.
He is, and I straight up, I love Connery. It's not my favorite Bond. I think Craig is my favorite Bond.
I think Connery is still my favorite Bond. Craig is, for me, Craig is probably number 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Be interested in having this conversation when we get to it. Yeah. So I'm, I really love this movie, and if you are a fan of Bond movies, it's actually easy to start with this one. Again, I was telling my coworker about this. Is that with 3 exceptions, I think. You do not need to watch these in any particular order.
No.
So that actually is a good thing. So you can literally, if you are just looking to watch a Bond movie and introduce yourself, this is the best one to watch, I think. It's gonna mean that Dr. No and From Russia with Love are gonna be a bit of a letdown, but because they're not as just Bond-bastic.
Yeah.
Just made that up.
I could think of one movie that I would probably recommend over this one, but we'll get to that eventually.
Okay. But again, this is when people, I hate to say, when people are describing James Bond movies, this is the one that they are describing. It really is.
Yeah.
Again, it was a phenomenon when it came out. It's constantly considered the best of the Bonds. Again, that's your mileage may vary with that, but for me, this is my favorite Connery, and I'm sticking with it.
Yep, this is my 3rd favorite Connery.
Okay, cool. I know we're going to be getting your favorite next week.
Yep.
You want to tell the good folks at home what that is?
Well, I would, but I can't get past my Thunderballs.
Oof.
Did you like that?
Cha cha cha. So yeah, so we want to know, what are your thoughts on Goldfinger? Where does this rank in your Connery Bonds and your Bond list overall? Where does the song rank in your song list? Because the beauty of Bond movies is that there are 3 lists: favorite film, favorite song, favorite Bond.
I got favorite villain as well.
Favorite villains, but see, a lot of them blend together. It's like,
Yeah.
Who do we got? We got Thanos, we got Doctor Doom, and Kite Man. All right,
We got Blofeld.
We got Blofeld. All 4 versions of Blofeld. Wait.
Do you
5.
Do you count the faceless one from from Thunderball?
That was a different actor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm also considering For Your Eyes Only. At the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For me, it's hard to get past Donald Pleasance Blofeld. He's the iconic.
Exactly. And I think the guy who played Lobot in Empire Strikes Back played Blofeld, or the unnamed Blofeld in For Your Eyes Only. But that was all because of the Thunderball lawsuit. Hey. Yeah. So, anyway, folks, let us know in the comments. Leave a polite comment below. What did you think about Goldfinger? Where does it all rank for you? If you like what you see here, please subscribe. Do us that kind favor and subscribe. Give us that big thumbs up as well. That helps get the word out, pumps the algorithm, and all that cool stuff. And Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcast from. Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. I've been a firm believer lately in Google Podcasts because some of the podcasts from iHeartRadio that I listen to are taking forever to show up on Stitcher.
Yeah, Stitcher's been kind of weird lately.
They've been really weird lately.
Too much Joe Rogan.
What's that?
Too much Joe Rogan.
Oh, well, that's Spotify. That does Joe Rogan.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Stitcher doesn't have exclusives, but I just started moving to Google Podcasts anyway because it's all the podcasts I listen to are one place. So cool. And I can do the Verbal Diorama Patreon stuff in that feed. So we got that. So anyway, folks, give our show a listen. Also, if you want to follow us on the socials, follow us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. And until next time, Moneypenny, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful, because we love only gold.
Yeah.
We love only gold.
Say that a few dozen more times and it'll be actually the song.